Hi Star Wars fans, it's Mr. Corellian here, and today I'm going to review for you Castas and his speeder bike. So this guy is a new figure that's been hitting shelves, along with a couple of other small vehicles. You've got, you know, your ARF Trooper in his, what is that, a Republic Scout speeder. You have the Grievous Attack Cycle, and you have a Separatist droid speeder with a battle droid. These have been showing up, I think, in Toys R Us's across the country, but they're going to come other places. They're not an exclusive or anything. But if you'll remember, this guy was he was partnered up with Aura Singh and Boba and Bosk when they were going up against Mace Windu. At least that's what I remember. But for some reason, he quit that early, like he was afraid of getting killed by Jedi or something like that. This is a pretty cool figure. I'm showing you it first on his speeder because you know, it'll take a while to put him back on it later, so I figured to just start this way. And he looks pretty good on it. It happens to be that the speeder looks a little bit small on him, and I think that was I think that was done kind of on purpose in the show too, that he's a big guy, so give him a smaller speeder. But like I just said, he is a big guy too. And let's see, let's start talking about the speeder by itself for a second now. So it's got some pretty cool sort of flame patterns on the side, which I really like. They're done in, what is that, black with green and yellow, little accents around it, and that's pretty neat. They go all the way up the side there. On the front, you can see a little white Aurebesh that says, it says dog-faced bounty hunter, which is funny because, you know, he does kind of have a dog face. The movable parts on this are these, the handles. They can go forward and back, so, you know, kind of mimic that like thrusting forward and the speeder goes faster sort of thing that we see them do. Also, the handles swivel this way. So that's pretty nice because it means that wherever their hands land, you can probably, you know, get the handle into their hand. Then these foot holders, they swivel a little bit. They can go forward about that far, and then they can go back about that far. So this is kind of the sitting down version, and then like when the speeder's on the ground, and then this is kind of the version when they're, you know, leaning forward on the speeder, going really fast. Also underneath the speeder, you can see this little black thing right here, or I guess it's gray, pops out, and that's I think it's part of the stand to help the speeder stand up. However, the speeder's so back heavy, especially with the character on it, that I don't really, this stand doesn't seem to do anything because the speeder doesn't want to fall forward, it wants to fall backwards, so this thing only helps it fall backwards. So that's kind of silly, it's kind of pointless. And then the other thing the speeder does, you have these little notches here which you can push, and out pops a little gun. You see that? So it's hidden in there and pops out right there. So he's got hidden blasters. That's kind of cool. I actually really like that. And those are all the moving parts on it. It's painted actually really well. I really like the paint on this. This whole like blue and green and yellow. It's got a mix of colors. It has this sort of bluish green up on the front of it here. Like I said, it has. Oh, is that the same color? I guess it's a bluish green back here too, as well as a yellow, which you probably can't see because it's very subtle, especially on this gray. Then he's got the nice brown down the middle here with another lighter brown back there. Or is that the yellow? I don't know. There's enough colors on here that it just they all sort of blend together. Like it looks like there's 6 colors, but there's really only 3 or something like that. Which is good. I mean, it means that they're smartly applied and done in the right spots. He also has a very detailed little emblem on the front here. It's like a little red triangle. So yeah, I like this speeder. And like you saw just a minute ago, it fit Castas pretty well. So let's look at Castas now. Alright, boy, he's all twisted right now because I had him on the speeder for a little while. So this guy is a Klatooinian, I think is how you say the race. We see some of him, you know, some of his species, you know, in Jabba's palace and the like. Although this guy is very distorted from you know, a realistic look. He's got this great, you know, hunch to his back, so he's always kind of leaning to the left, which is you know, both good and bad. I never like it when figures are too pre-posed because then you can't do anything with them. But for this, it doesn't look like a pose. It just looks like, you know, part of the way that he, you know, is built. No pun intended there. So let's go with his articulation. He has a ball-jointed head, a ball-hinged shoulder, ball-hinged elbow, and swivel wrist. He has swivel waist. Ball-hinged hips, which is great for getting him on the speeder bike. Ball-hinged knees, and no ankle articulation. Now, one thing right off the bat, as soon as I picked up this figure, I noticed that he's made of some very interesting feeling plastic. It's almost rubbery, especially down at his feet. You can see all the give that it has in that foot there. I don't recall feeling this on many other figures, if any. Maybe it's more common in the Clone Wars line, which I don't collect a lot of, but I actually really like it. It feels, you know, a little bit more durable than some of the brittle plastic that the other ones are made of, but it's also really like nice and soft. So I really like his material, which obviously can't communicate well over video. So his two hands are in a gripping stance. The right one's a little bit looser than the left, but they'll both grip his gun just fine, and they'll both grip the handlebars just fine. He's got an interesting gun. It's a very thick one, both on the grip and especially up in the barrel. It looks like it has a big old silencer on it or something like that. And it fits pretty well in his holster, although it's a little bit tight of a squeeze, but I guess it's better than it being too loose and it falling out all the time. So that's what it looks like in the holster on the side of him. Let's see. As far as paint goes, the points of interest are pretty much that he has the same emblem that we saw on his speeder bike on various points in his clothing. He mimics a lot of the colors on his speeder bike too. This sort of this greenish blue, what is that, like a vest that he has on, and it looks like his shoes are that greenish blue too. We see on the speeder bike, so that's cool. It very much looks like, you know, his paired speeder bike. It's his. Let's see, the sculpt. It's got some good detail in a couple little places. Not the best. His wrists are where there's some sculpted detail. He's got some sort of bandages and these fun little bracers on his wrists. And then, of course, like most aliens, his head's very interesting. He's kind of got this scowl going on with this big, you know, underbite coming out, and his left eye looks like maybe it's blind or it's just squinting, but he's got a face like that, and so he looks very menacing and scary. I mean, with a figure like this, I would have loved to have some ankle articulation, but it's really nice to get, you know, that full posability with the hip ball hinge. So that's pretty nice, and I think he's kind of a cool guy. I don't know if there are any other Clone Wars Klatooinian figures, so this might be the only one. But an interesting character from definitely some interesting episodes, and a cool speeder bike. So yeah, if you see this in stores, I would definitely recommend picking it up. And thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.